This is the cash accounting segment of our demonstration series, and we're going to just focus on cash entries with this one, just as a demonstration. That is probably the most popular question we get at the farm show, is how hard is it to make an entry into FarmFact? One thing I want to reinforce or show you very briefly before we go into the cash accounting, and there's a little bit about the way the transaction codes are set. When you create a new client, as we did earlier in the and establish this client called junk, there's no bank, there's no vendors, there's no accounts, but FarmFact does begin you with a set of transaction codes. We break everything into categories first, so you don't have such a large list to choose from. We have crop production. These are like sub-records: crop production, livestock, other business. As I move up and down, personal, tax, property, you'll see that each one has its own miniature chart of accounts. This chart of accounts then can be customized and added to, an additional property selected to meet your accounting needs. And the way you set up the first year, when you move to your second year, you can then come in and edit and change it and add more details to it. Go back to the first year, it's just the way you left it. In Demo Rogers Family Farm, we have several examples of some of the things you can do with your chart of accounts, and therefore you'll see the different questions that FarmFact will ask you when you make an entry. Under seed, we haven't added any sub-details, but under repair and upkeep, I've added one sub-list. Under fertilizer, I've got a sub-list and quantified it. And under chemical, we've activated all the questions. So with that little bit of background, let's go ahead and make an entry, and we'll show you what some of the differences are. To make an entry, we click on Cash Accounting. From this screen, we pick the bank account that we want to pay that expense with. We're going to open that bank account, or from this screen we can also do a reconciliation. Over here you can enter simply cash receipts, something that didn't actually go through a bank account. Let's open up that bank account. We're going to go inside of Will County National Bank now. Here's a current register. There's the entry which we've made prior. Here's a current bank balance. We can do a check, a payroll check, a deposit, transfer funds, account debit, or account credit. Let's just do a check. FarmFact will give you the next check number. In our training, we teach you to use the enter key, because the enter key will send you to the next field that's necessary. So we're going to press enter on the check number. We're going to use the up arrow to add a couple of days to the calendar. Press enter. Now we're going to pick our vendor and hit a few keys, bring up the vendor you want, and we're going to do a simple check to Walmart. Now, don't worry about entering the decimal point or anything. The FarmFact will format the amount for you. So just put in the amount of the check, 50404500. Press enter. Now we begin the breakdown. You pick your category. In this case, I'm just going to go to personal. Press enter, and I'm going to go down the personal list, down to food. Press enter. Goes down to it brings the amount forward for you. If you want to put in a sub amount, you could, but in this case it's the same amount, and we have no remarks. So we are already done. One entry complete. We're going to save that entry, and we're ready for the second entry. We're going to use the next document number. Yes, we're going to add a day to it. We're going to go to our vendor list, and we're going to go down and say Wagner Crop Management. And this, we're going to make a couple of different sub details and say this one was for $5,000. Press in the amount, press enter. Crop production, yes, we're going to leave it on crop production. We don't have any other questions activated on seed because on that other screen we didn't program them. But under fertilizer, you see that we have a sub list that pops out. Under chemical, I have all of them that popped up. Under repair and upkeep, I have a sub list that's going to pop up. But if I just say seed and it just falls through, and I'll put in an amount, but I'm going to put in a sub amount. I'm going to put in $1,000 and no additional remarks. Now I've completed that entry. I've got $1,000, but down here I still have $4,000 to account for. So FarmFact came up and asked me for another one. With this one, we're just going to complete with some fertilizer, and we're going to say, oh, we also paid for some anhydrous. It was the balance of the purchase, and it was 20 tons, and no remarks. Press save. Okay, everything has been accounted for. We bought anhydrous for $200 a ton, $1,000 worth of seed, and we simply click on Save Document, and that entry has been completed. We press the Escape key, and we're back out to the register screen. We press it, and you'll see the entries, the two we've just completed right here. Press Escape key, we're back out to where we picked the bank account from, and press Escape, and we're back out to the main screen. That is all there is to making an entry through FarmFact. Cash reports are right next to FarmFact. You click on the cash reports, you have all of these different ledger reports, you have an entry journal, you have cash flows. Everything that you would need from the cash accounting side is available through that button. We have an event log that you can record things that you want to remember, maybe at tax time or whatever through the year. A place of putting in depreciation allowance. You can create an entry search. You can look up by check number, by date, by document, by filter, any type of information that you want to extract out of FarmFact. So that was a quick and easy explanation of how cash accounting goes. It's a very simple, straightforward method. Anything that you do, you can edit, you can correct, you can change at a later date.